Hello, I'm Dave Briskie, and welcome to this episode of Briskie Business. Once again, thank you for making me part of your day. I've really enjoyed speaking to you each week, and keep writing me, please, briskiebusiness@ntvusa.com, and I'll keep styling the program after your interests. I have had some amazing guests on this program, and the feedback I've received regarding the guests has been really encouraged me to bring on more people and more diversified businesses that people are involved with. And you are going to love today's guests because we've never really had someone in this area in line of work before. If you missed any of the episodes, just go find me on the NTV USA app, and you can find all the past episodes there. As you all know, the premise of the program is broken into 4 segments. It's Brisk Business Basics, which are the foundational business principles. Brisk Buy or Bail, all about the decision process. Brisk Bulls and Bears, public markets, and of course, Brisk Best and Brightest, and which is mentorship. And really, the whole program is about mentorship. So let's do this, as today I'm excited to have a really cool and very, very special guest on my program. This gentleman was born in 1961 in Camagüey, Cuba. He grew up in the Hialeah area, which is kind of cool because we're filming right here from Hialeah. That's where we come to you live every week. This gentleman played in the city's parks as a young man, studying in the public schools, and he really, really served his community and ultimately became a police officer. And I have a huge, huge, huge heart for our first responders, so I certainly appreciate him for that. At the Hialeah Police Department for over 20 years, he ultimately retired from the police department as commander. He served in the city of Hialeah as a council member beginning in 2005, and then he was elected by his peers to the city council in 2007 to serve as council vice president, and in 2009 he served as council president, a leadership position that he held until he was appointed mayor. We may get into that a little bit as well, of the city of Hialeah in May 23 of 11. In November 15th, though, this gentleman was elected by the citizens of Hialeah to continue serving as their mayor, and he was re-elected as mayor in 2013 and once again in 2017. So obviously a man of the people. It is my sincere pleasure to introduce Mayor Carlos Hernandez, the mayor of the city of Hialeah, to Briskie Business. Welcome to the program, Carlos.
Thank you, Dave, for having me here. And it's really an honor because usually I'm invited to political shows talking about political issues. So it's great to come here and talk a little bit more about the broader areas that usually I don't talk about. So thank you for having me on your program.
I think it's going to be and I love your background. And so every program, I usually say, take a deep breath, and we're going to start with a cup of our favorite coffee. But in your case, I have to go with this little bit smaller cup. And I know this is somewhat of a plug for us, but, Cafe La Rica is the official cafecito of the city of Hialeah, isn't it?
It is. And let me tell you what, if you're the official cafecito of the city of Hialeah, and you know the city of Hialeah, you got to be the best. So, yeah, highly recommend it.
Thank you so much, and I know that is true. And there is a saying on this cup that's probably a bit appropriate for what we're all going through. It says, just when the caterpillar thought the world was over, it became a butterfly. And I am sincerely hoping that in this time of a global pandemic that we can get to a butterfly world very, very soon. And I'm interested to hear, probably some of the challenges you've dealt with as the mayor. So salute to you, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you.
So as you know, the first segment is Brisk Business Basics, and we get to those basic business principles. And I know you have a lot to offer. You've pivoted several times in your life in different areas. Obviously, a major pivot from your early career to the police department all the way to commander and then ultimately becoming the mayor. So I'm very, very impressed with your story. And we've never had someone with your quite like your background. So I think our listeners are going to find it very, very intriguing. So tell us, though, take us back to those early days and kind of maybe what advice you might be able to give, those folks out there looking for some guidance in those ways of business basics.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Again, just like everybody else, I graduated from high school. I started attending college. And at the time, I was actually working part-time at a radio station, a local radio station. And actually, I started studying radio and television broadcasting. And while that was going on, by luck, a neighbor of my parents, their daughter was dating a police lieutenant from the city of Hialeah. I was like 21 years old, training, going to school. And, he looked at me and said, man, you you do well being a police officer. And at that time, I really had no idea about being a police officer. So now I'm going to school, I'm doing this. And he goes, well, the police departments will pay you. Will pay your school with your graduation. I said, that's a great deal. So that opened my eyes. I went to apply. I was hired, accepted. I went to a police academy. And again, I became a police officer. I continued going to school. I did change my major, which is a big thing, to public administration. And I'm glad I made that move because I think that became very important later in life. But you know what? When I became a cop at the beginning, it was going to be a short-term thing. And, it became a career. I mean, I went from being a patrolman on the street, actually worked undercover, then got promoted to sergeant, worked the streets, worked as public information officer for the police department, became a lieutenant, and went up the rank to commander. So, something that was going to be short-term to just go to school became a full-time, a long career, one that I'm so grateful because I think, like you said, the public service, especially law enforcement and fighters, special breed, and I was very happy to be part of that. I know we live today in a very complicated world, but thank God for those first responders, because without them, we'd be in real deep trouble. So my education was that. And I'm very happy that I went to public administration because while being in law enforcement, I saw the importance of elected officials and how important their decisions were. Not only, how it impacted everybody. So I, upon having an opportunity to retire, I decided I was going to run for public office. As you stated, I was elected in 2005 to the council. And in 2011, I became the mayor of the city of Hialeah, which is the 6th largest city in the state of Florida. And one of the things that I have here in the city, or we have here in the city, is I'm actually a strong mayor. And for people that don't know what that term means, is strong mayor is actually also the administrator of the city. There are many cities where you have an elected official be the mayor, but they have a city manager. I happen to carry both hats as a city manager and the political head of the city. So it's very challenging because I actually oversee 22 departments, 22 department heads, and I oversee a budget of $364 million.
Wow, that is unbelievable. Huge success. I have to believe that, sometimes young people don't realize the paths we get on and the experience we can draw for them, what they can set us up for. I have to believe, though, even though you maybe didn't anticipate it, that those years as a policeman had to really set you up for success in public office.
Oh, no, absolutely. Actually, one of the things that made it very easy for me to make that transaction was my experience in the police department, because I was forced to understand how local government worked, how important local government decisions were. And the higher I went up the ranks, the more I got to work closer to the elected officials. And so that experience, I think every experience that you get in life, you can use for something else. I've met many really top administrators. And once you're a business administrator, it really doesn't matter the business. It can be selling nuts and bolts, or it could be selling records. It doesn't matter. Once you have those basic principles, it's applying those basic principles to whatever the product is. So that's why sometimes you see on TV where you had the CEO of, some company that sold airplane parts. All of a sudden he's the CEO of an office supply business. It really, principles are principles, and the right decisions are the right decisions regardless of what kind of business you're in.
Yeah, I really do appreciate that thought process, because you're right. If we get those basics down, then we're really good. What basics do you think might be lacking in the younger population right now as they come out in these difficult times? What do you think are those basics that they need, let alone lacking, to rise up like you did in your career?
I think times have changed. Let me tell you, when I got out of high school, a lot of people would just do well with the high school. Many others like me will go get a bachelor's degree, and I knew very few people had a master's degree. So I think at that time, education or going to school was very important. Well, today, a lot of these young people are graduating with masters, with bachelors. I think today a bachelor's almost equal to a high school diploma back when in 1979 when I graduated to high school. So I think school-wise or education-wise, it's very competitive, and I think what makes the difference, I can tell you, at least when I speak to somebody that's trying to hire a young person, is what else do they bring to the table? What other experiences? And a lot of these you can do with, internship. volunteering your time. But I think that is what really sets people apart. And another very important thing too, Dave, and we have it here, is communication skills. I'm seeing a lot of young people today, and I know that we're a text world and all these things, but I see a lot of young people losing that communication skills. And at the end of the day, I think that's one of the most important skills that we can ever have, is communicating, being able to look people in the eye, be able to explain our thoughts in a very clear way. And I think texting and stuff like that has taken away a little bit of that, because I even see it with my kids.
Yeah, I think we all see that, and we think it's very unfortunate, because there's nothing like a verbal connection versus the words that kind of get lost in translation. I think we've got about a minute left to this segment, and I knew it was going to go by quick with a guy like you. But I'd like you to speak to this and speak from the heart, and I know you're a guy that does in 45 seconds. What do you think it's like for our police departments right now, the way the world has kind of shaped? I'm sure you'd like to speak to them for their hard work. I know I do.
I think there's a lot of confusion out there. I think that training is very important. And I'll be honest, police departments need more training. But, when I hear people talking about defunding police departments, I'm totally opposed to that, because, again, that's our first or our last line of defense. And I think there's a lot that needs to be talked about that has not been spoken. And maybe we can talk a whole show about this. But I think training is important. I think the right regulations are important. I think community policing is important. And all these things are important. I think we can all come to an agreement if we take all the quick politics out and the extremes. And I think everybody wants the same thing. And that is that we want to live in a peaceful community and get along with each other and help each other.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. And you're right, we could do a whole program on it, and maybe we will someday, and you can bring some interesting people to talk about it. So this is going to wrap up Brisk Business Baked. That went by quickly, and I knew it would. This is a very, very interesting gentleman to speak with, and we'll be back in a moment with Brisk's Buy or Bail after a word from our sponsor, maybe even this company right here. Back in a moment.
Super Greens is a one-of-a-kind blend that's loaded with hard-to-find nutrient-dense superfoods. We've used what we've learned from our more than 20 years working with mineral-based nutrition to create one of the healthiest, plant-based nutritional products available. Each superfood was carefully selected so that it complements and enhances the others, helping to maximize Super Greens' nutritional power. Next, we added a specialized fermentation technique to increase the bioavailability of each superfood. Finally, we put in powerful probiotics and enzymes for added digestive support to give you jam-packed nutritional support. Youngevity Super Greens, the highly alkalinizing super supplement that helps balance your body. It's the superfood-powered way to get more organic fruits and veggies in your day, all in just one scoop. Check with your Youngevity distributor to learn more.
Paying attention to your overall health also means focusing on the command center of it all, your brain. Factors like stress, lack of sleep, poor diet, a sedentary lifestyle, and the bombardment of pollutants and toxins can all diminish brain and neural functions. When was the last time you concentrated on your brain health? Synaptive by Youngevity is a cutting-edge, unique brain support supplement that delivers powerful nutrients both immediately and throughout the day. Its anti-stress nutrients provide instant brain-boosting support that helps with mental focus and cognitive activity. To enhance your body's neuroprotection, Synaptive's full-spectrum antioxidant blend targets 6 major classes of free radicals that inhibit brain function. This powerful nutrient combination also promotes healthy blood flow to the brain. Synaptive. Optimal antioxidant neuroprotection and support for a healthy brain. Now that's something to think about. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Are you looking for high entertainment and energy in your media? Download the ENTV USA app now. You're not going to want to miss what we got to offer. We are ENTV USA. Click and subscribe. Con una vista, basta.
Cardio Beats from Youngevity supports a healthy cardiovascular system and helps supply the nutrients your body needs to support better physical endurance. Your capacity to last a little longer is largely based on how well your cardiovascular system expends oxygen and circulates blood through your body. CardioBeats helps combat the oxidative stress caused by physical activity by supplying you with key nutrients that support your cardiovascular system. These nutrients have also been shown to help improve endurance. CardioBeats starts with organic beets, a rich source of nitrates to support healthy blood flow and oxygen transport. We've added whole foods from highly bioavailable seaweed and mango fruit, both known for blood flow support, and antioxidant-rich sweet cherries. Then, for even more heart health benefits, we finished it off with key amino acids. Take your physical endurance to the next level with CardioBeats. Talk to your Longevity associate for more information.
Understanding your microbiome can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
A strong heart is a happy heart. Your body's systems depend on a healthy cardiovascular system to thrive. Without a healthy heart, you could experience symptoms like fatigue, aches and pains, dizziness, or shortness of breath. Longevity developed Ultimate EFA Plus with a proprietary balanced blend of essential fatty acids. We started with flaxseed oil. It's been shown to improve the elasticity of arteries and support healthy blood pressure. Next, we included cold water fish oils, rich in omega-3s that can promote a healthy cardiovascular system and even increase levels of good HDL cholesterol. Then we added borage oil, known for its powerful anti-inflammatory properties. Blended together, these essential fatty acids provide you with the optimal blend of nutrients to help maintain normal cardiovascular health. Ultimate EFA Plus, the right nutrients to improve your heart health naturally. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome back to Briskie Business, and we are having some compelling conversation. This segment is Brisk Buyer Bail, and we're going to bring Mayor Carlos Hernandez back onto the program. And we're gonna tee it up for Carlos right here, talking about the decision-making process. You can imagine, or I can only imagine, the mayor of a city the size of Hialeah, and then the administrative role he's also playing there. He's making buyer bail decisions every day. So, Carlos, why don't you walk us through your decision-making process that you do there?
You know, earlier you mentioned about bringing things from other careers, and I think my management style definitely comes from law enforcement. And I'm a firm believer, and I run the city just like I did when I was commanding the police department. I'm a firm believer in situational management. Every situation is different. Every employee is different. Every one of my 22 department heads are different. So I think, to me, situational management is one of the secrets to my success. You just can't handle everything the same way. And there's situations where you have time, and time is always very important. Time to make a decision where you can have input from all those people you respect. Yes, you're going to make the final decision, but you have time to make those decisions. And then there's times when you got to make decisions immediately, and you're the one that's had to make the decision. And my philosophy is, as long as I've used all my energy, all my experience, and make the best decision at the time for everybody involved, that is the best decision. And maybe later on, you can say, oh my God, I could have done something better, but you can never really go back. As long as you made the best decision with the best intentions and using all that experience, and this could be either, again, one that you have more time or one that you have to do immediately, that situation is going to determine, how you're going to act and the decisions you're going to make. But I'm definitely a firm believer in situational management. Again, even my department heads with employees, not everybody's the same. Some people need more guidance. Some people need less guidance. It's all where they're at that readiness level. Some people need to be disciplined, and some people need a pat in the back. And you need to know how to motivate all the members of your organization from the top to bottom, because again, the weakest link can be anywhere in your organization. I'm a firm believer in organizational management.
You know what? I really think that's powerful. No one's ever said that, but it makes so much sense, right? And especially in your case, maybe you have some decisions that have a longer timeline and some may be instant. And I love that word, situational manager. I think that's something everyone can think about and make sure that they maybe implement into their decision-making process. So how do you go about building your team there? I mean, tell me about that a little bit.
I think that's the secret of great leadership. You really want to get people that are better than you at their departments or wherever it is. You want somebody that knows more about you in police department, somebody who knows more about you in the public works department. You want to get the best people and surround yourself with the best people. One of the biggest weakness that a leader can have is feel, and I think that's called insecurity more than anything else, if you feel you need to be better than the people around you. Well, if I'm better than all the people around me, I don't really need anybody. I want to find the best people at their task, okay, to help me make the best decision. 90% of the time, I'm going to listen, or maybe even 95% of times, I'm going to listen to a department head and go his way. Because if he's working for me, it's because he's earned my respect, I've earned his, and we work as a team. So to me, teamwork is finding the best people that you can. And again, sometimes it's growing them from the bottom up, but always finding the best people and giving them an opportunity. And also very important is listen to what they have to say, because also, if you're not listening to your team members, eventually they might get tired and go, you know what, he's not listening, and they'll stop really trying to help you. So you got to work with them, listen to them, and find the best people you can.
You made a pretty big pivot from the police department, obviously, into this role. Were any relationships that you had in the police department, were any of them able to kind of come over to what you're doing now and be a part of your team?
Oh, absolutely. Our chief right now, Chief Sergio Velasco, is actually, and that's a funny story. I mean, I was a sergeant when he was an officer. I was a lieutenant. He was a sergeant. I was a commander. He was a lieutenant. And this is a guy that actually come from New York City. I've been a police officer in New York City. And man, this guy, I always found him to be so complete. This was the kind of guy that you would tell him something and you didn't have to say it again. Sometimes he would find solutions to problems and then bring them to you. And you know what? The moment I became mayor, that's the guy I wanted to be my chief. And as soon as I could, I made him my chief of police. And you know what? He's got because knowing him from so many years and knowing the kind of leader he was, even at that rank from sergeant up, it's been a pleasure to work with him. And he's the kind of guy that, again, 99% of the time I'm going to listen to his advice, even though I spent a lot of time. And at one time, I was his superior. Well, no, now he's mine when it comes to police matters. And I'm going to listen to Sergio. He's been there 30-some years. And again, that's the kind of thing that you want to bring with you. In some occasions, with a police chief, I was able to do that.
That's fantastic. I have a saying, people have asked, if I've, where I've had success and what some of the keys were that in business. And to me, we're still having a business conversation in running a city, right? The principles are the same. And I always say this, find people you love to do business with and do more business with them. And it sounds that's exactly what you did with your chief.
And listen, good point. I'm one of those, people. I run the city like a business. Right? The citizens are the shareholders. I'm the CEO, and it's my job to use, to make this the best company possible. One of the things that I always talk about when I became mayor was I don't want to measure the city of Hialeah with other cities. I want to measure the city of Hialeah not only with other cities but with the private sector. What would happen if somebody in the private sector opened the same business we do across the street? I need to compete with those people. So I've always been also a firm believer is and in cities, sometimes you hear the term, well, that's the way it's always been done. And I think in business, you hear that too. And those are businesses that die, that eventually die and quickly die. So, no, okay, so that's the way it's always been done. That's great. There's got to be a better way. So I'm always looking for better ways, always demanding from my department heads, see if they can find a better way, more efficient way to do things, because we do a service. This is a business. It's just that it's funded by the citizens, but it's no different than a private company.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this. Are there any things that you can give tips to people listening out there that people should absolutely avoid during the decision-making process?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Do not make decisions, emotional decisions, especially when you're upset. All right? My philosophy is, and I get upset, I'm human like everybody else. If I am in a situation where I get upset, believe me, I've learned the hard way, you don't make a decision. You go ahead and you take a break. You take days to think about the decision. But I think any bad decisions that I've made that later on I have felt bad about was made at a moment of, I'm upset, I'm going to do this. So if I can give everybody a tip here, anybody a tip here who's going to be in a leadership role, business, whatever it is, never, ever make a decision when you're upset. Don't ever make a decision either when you're very extremely happy either. Keep the emotions out of decisions and make sure you use our intellectual powers to make the best decision available.
That is fantastic advice. And so we got about a minute less in the segment. And I'd like to ask you if you ever have had any regrets in your decision process, that you've made a decision and regretted.
Listen, it'll take me a little while. I am sure, no, not one. Okay, I've made many mistakes that later on you're going to go, oh, man. But you know what? If at that time, and I think I mentioned that a little bit earlier, at the time of making that decision, you made the best decision with the information you had available at that time, with the right intent, with the right advice, you know what? At that moment, you did what was correct. If it later on turned out that you could have made a better decision or not, learn from it. The past is done. Learn from it and don't let it happen again. And again, that goes back to making a decision when you're not, you're doing it from an emotional point. Learn from that. And I think I've learned that the hard way. And I think we're all going to have to learn that the hard way. I don't think anybody's going to look at us now or listen to us and go, you know what, I'm going to practice that. I think something from experience, but the earlier you learn it, the better of a leader you're going to be.
Man, we are getting all types of tips and tidbits from the mayor of the city of Hialeah. Carlos is killing it today on the program. Carlos, I really appreciate your insight, and you just talked right off the cuff, but it comes with such wisdom. And I always say, where does wisdom come from? From screwing up a lot. So so you're probably on that same boat with me. We're making mistakes and learning from them. We're going to wrap up this segment of Brisk's Buy or Bail, and we're going to be right back with Carlos Hernandez on Brisk's Bulls and Bears, the next segment. Let's after a word from our sponsor. Thank you.
As you age, factors like health, weight, diet, and lifestyle can all impact your bones, joints, and general mobility. Over time, you might start to experience stiffness or pain due to damaged joints or connective tissue. Ultimate Glucogel by Youngevity was created to help you limit the effects of wear on your joints. It delivers a daily dose of collagen-rich gelatin your body needs for joint elasticity and maintenance. Ultimate Glucogel contains a 1-to-1 ratio of gelatin and glucosamine sulfate, which is a key building block of your bone matrix, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, and connective tissue. Gelatin's unique blend of amino acids not only help with muscle and joint health, but also has been shown to provide additional benefits for the brain, skin, and hair. Ultimate Glucogel. Natural, optimal daily support for joint health. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate. Antioxidants are essential to protect your cells against the damaging effects of free radicals. Purmeric by Youngevity harnesses the power of nature to combat free radicals, by delivering a potent boost of antioxidants known for their incredible healing properties. Sourced from certified organic turmeric root, turmeric contains 95% curcuminoids, the active compounds that quash free radicals. Turmeric has been used in Ayurvedic and Chinese medicine for thousands of years to promote both heart and brain health, as well as its powerful anti-inflammatory properties. We've also included a botanical blend of phytonutrients that include flavonoids, carotenoids, and sulfides. These natural, plant-based chemicals are powerful contributors to overall health and well-being. Turmeric, the organic antioxidant supplement from Youngevity, formulated to promote optimal health. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate. A strong heart is a happy heart. Your body's systems depend on a healthy cardiovascular system to thrive. Without a healthy heart, you could experience symptoms like fatigue, aches and pains, dizziness, or shortness of breath. Youngevity developed Ultimate EFA Plus with a proprietary balanced blend of essential fatty acids. We started with flaxseed oil. It's been shown to improve the elasticity of arteries and support healthy blood pressure. Next, we included cold water fish oils, rich in omega-3s that can promote a healthy cardiovascular system and even increase levels of good HDL cholesterol. Then we added borage oil, known for its powerful anti-inflammatory properties. Blended together, these essential fatty acids provide you with the optimal blend of nutrients to help maintain normal cardiovascular health. Ultimate EFA Plus, the right nutrients to improve your heart health naturally. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
As you age, the collagen that helps keep your body in optimal physical condition breaks down faster than your body can replace it. But now, it's easy to give your body the healthy dose of collagen it needs with Collagen Creamer from Youngevity. It's a delicious vanilla-flavored coffee creamer that's packed with 7.5 grams of bovine-sourced collagen peptides. Youngevity's Collagen Creamer uses 2 types of collagen to better supply the protein needed to repair and strengthen the connective tissue in your body. It also supports healthy hair, skin, nails, and even bones. We've also formulated Collagen Creamer with MCT, healthy fats that the body is able to absorb and convert into an instant boost of energy. Add it to coffee or one of your other favorite beverages when you need it. Youngevity Collagen Creamer. Support for healthy connective tissue and more energy, all in a tasty vanilla-flavored creamer. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Cardio Beats from Youngevity supports a healthy cardiovascular system and helps supply the nutrients your body needs to support better physical endurance. Your capacity to last a little longer is largely based on how well your cardiovascular system expends oxygen and circulates blood through your body. Cardio Beats helps combat the oxidative stress caused by physical activity by supplying you with key nutrients that support your cardiovascular system. These nutrients have also been shown to help improve endurance. Cardio Beats starts with organic beets, a rich source of nitrates to support healthy blood flow and oxygen transport. We've added whole foods from highly bioavailable seaweed and mango fruit, both known for blood flow support and antioxidant-rich sweet cherries. Then, for even more heart health benefits, we finished it off with key amino acids. Take your physical endurance to the next level with Cardio Beats. Talk to your Youngevity associate for more information.
Welcome back to Briskie Business. This has been a lot of fun. We've never had someone of this stature on the program before, the mayor of the city of Hialeah, Carlos Hernandez. And this segment is Brisk Bulls and Bears. And we're at the public market segment. We're going to bring Mr. Hernandez back onto the program. Carlos, it's going great. Thank you so much for being on the show.
I'm really having a blast. Thank you for having an opportunity to speak about, like I said, things that I usually don't talk about. So really, really learning a lot also.
You got a lot to offer, my friend, and we appreciate it. So this is the public market segment. Off mic, you talked to me about you're a digger in type of guy. You don't just sit there and, let life pass you by. You dig in and learn stuff. And, it was interesting you sharing that, you did make some investments in public markets and how you went about it. So why don't you share some of that with the listening audience here?
Yeah, I mean, I actually back in the early 2000s, I got into the market, and as always, I said, you know what, let me learn about this before I, put my whole body into it or whatever. And I did a lot of reading. Actually, I subscribed to 3 or 4 newsletters that were charging hundreds of dollars a month, but that was the best investment that I could do because, to play the market or invest in the market. And by the way, Dave, I think that's something that should be taught in school, and it's not. I don't know if in high school or at the university level, they should have a class on the stock market because, like it or not, pretty much everything that's going to represent something for us in the future investments have to do with stocks. If you have a mutual fund, well, yeah, you're not the one buying the stocks, but you better understand what you're buying and why you're buying. If you're going to buy stocks, I hope that you learn how to buy stocks and do your homework. If you're going to be watching Kramer at 6, 7 o'clock and you're going to buy what he says, you're going to find yourself in some quick losses real quick, all right? Because by the time that he's talking about it, the ship, came and went. So it's learning how to read, again, marks in the market, spending hours. If you're actually going to invest in the market, you got to spend hours. I remember when I was a council member where I had more time, I was spending about 4 hours a day looking at the market early in the morning, see where my holdings were. And again, learn a couple of things that I think were important. 2 of the ones that I thought the most important was never buy down. You see people that buy a stock and the stock starts to fall and they go, oh my God, I bought it at 10. Well, now I can buy it at 8. Let me buy some more. And now it's at 6 and that's at 4 because now in most stocks. And I made some of those mistakes and it cost me a lot. So don't do that. One of the rules that I learned, because I didn't come up with these, was make sure you have a 7% stop loss on your stocks. If it comes under, if you're losing 7%, get rid of them. And you know what? If they come back up, you'll be able to chance to get back on it. But again, you have to educate yourself in the market just like you do everything else. And it's all, again, everybody should have some education in the market because, like I said, even if you own mutual funds, that's going to, if you're making an 8% return and a 12% return for 20 years, that's a big difference in your retirement.
Wow.
So
yeah.
Huge, right? So, so I know a little bit about it, but the best I can tell you in this, because I'm sure a lot of people watching this are better than I am, and I'm sure you are, is do your homework. If you're going to be into buying in the market or selling, and it really doesn't matter what the market. I know people that can make money, so do you, in a bear market, or a bull market. But you need to know what you're doing if you're going to be buying individual stocks. And even if you have mutual funds, just don't buy a mutual fund, just wait and see what happens. Be on top of it. Know exactly how it's doing. Let's say if you buy a mutual fund, at least look and see how it's doing compared to the S&P 500 or one of those other markets, because if it's doing less or then you better change. So these are the things that I think people need to do. The most important message is be educated. And we should all be educated in the market.
You know what? I hope our listening audience and watching audience is paying attention to what you're saying, because we're talking about a gentleman that he didn't live a life on Wall Street. Started as a policeman 20-something years. He's in the city, in the government, and he just gave a schooling on buying stocks and how to do it. And wove in, Carlos, I think it's important, the non-emotional, right? We can make very emotional decisions, right? Buy or bail on stocks as well. And, you have a kind of a set theory, 7% down, I'm out. Not emotion, it's my rule. And boy, if you're making emotional decisions in the market, you can get whipped. I want to segue a little bit, because we're still talking about public markets, but I want to shift to pensions, because you've lived a life where you've obviously probably came out with a pension in the police department and government. And I think pensions are they're going to be struggling. And my question for you, are pensions sustainable?
No. Fixed pensions are unsustainable. I don't think there are many businesses in the private sector that still have them. Many of them have stopped them. The only place where they really exist is in the public sector. And there's a history to this. I mean, you remember many, many years ago, the the public sector paid a lot less than the private sector. So ways that you keep employees was to give them, pensions when they retired. Now, back then, people would work till they were 62, 63 years old. They would get a pension. And back in those days, I'm serious, if you made it to 70, that was a long time. So there was a lot more people working than actually on the pensions. Today, and not only in the cities, almost in Social Security too and everywhere, there are actually more people collecting from these pensions than people that are putting money into these pensions. So this is one of the serious or most serious issues that cities are facing today, all cities, because you are responsible for these fixed pensions. That means if an employee works 25 years and you have a 3-point multiplier, that means you're going to have to pay him 75% of his salaries for the rest of his life. So if he retires at the age of 50 and he lives to 80, that's 30 years that you have to pay him this amount. And sometimes they have COLAs in there, cost of living increases. So, and it's not something, and let me just put this, it's sad that we've gone to this level because, employees deserve the best that you can give them. But the model just doesn't work. When they started this a long time ago, again, it was based on more people going to be working than are going to be retired, and also a very false pillar, and that these pensions were going to have an average return of 8% a year. Right? Well, that rarely ever happens, especially when these pensions have all these rules and regulations that are set by the state, where they got to have certain amounts in stock, some amounts in bonds. So even in a good year, where the market is doing 19%, usually it'll do 10, 11. And then when the markets are really taking a dive, well, they take a dive. And remember, it's all about compound interest. So any year that it does not make that 8%, taxpayers' monies are stuck with that bill. So I can tell you in the city of Hialeah, and again, I'm very grateful to the employees of the city of Hialeah, because since I've been here, we've made a lot of changes to the pensions. Actually, new employees that came after 2012, not firefighters or police, but general employees are now on a 401k, because we realized as a city that it was unsustainable. And we were going to try to do everything possible to extend this, and hopefully something down the line will come that can save it. But every city that I know of has issues with the pensions, and it's one of the biggest, problems that cities are going to be facing for the next 10 years.
You brought up a couple of things I didn't think of, and I do remember I had some relatives back when I was younger that was working, like uncles and aunts working for the cities, and you're right, their pay was lower, and they would take those jobs with the idea that, they would have a pension eventually, but, as market and competition shifted, those, to hire those people, salaries increased, and all of the thoughts that went into this idea of pension maybe wasn't really thought through, and then the number of workers. So it's a tough scenario, and I'm seeing it play out, and I imagine it's a big challenge for you. I did find it interesting, though, off mic, I think you told me that the city of Hialeah up to 7% contribution matches that. So it's pretty much 100% match up to 7%. That's a very nice benefit.
Well, that is for the employees. That is for the employees, let me say, non-police or fire, that came after 2012. The agreement was that those employees would put 7%, and the city would match 100% with 7%. Those employees that were here prior to 2012, and police officer and fire, employees, they actually, again, they have a guaranteed fixed pension.
Of course, no, I understand that.
These guys, after doing 25 years, can take 75% of their salaries plus COLAs for the rest of their lives. And again, they earned it. And when they came here, that was promised. But I can tell you, somewhere down the line, and somebody's going to play this and go, oh, that matters. Somewhere down the line, you're going to see where it's going to have to change to everybody go to a 401k. And it's going to be a sad day, because I'm one of those that believe, especially, again, firefighters and police officers really deserve everything we can get to them. But it's just going to be unsustainable to keep doing what we're doing now.
Thank you for sharing that, and it took a lot of courage to do it. This concludes this segment of Brisk Bulls and Bears, and we're going to be right back with Brisk Best and Brightest in a moment.
Antioxidants are essential to protect your cells against the damaging effects of free radicals. Turmeric by Youngevity harnesses the power of nature to combat free radicals by delivering a potent boost of antioxidants known for their incredible healing properties. Sourced from certified organic turmeric root, turmeric contains 95% curcuminoids, the active compounds that quash free radicals. Turmeric has been used in Ayurvedic and Chinese medicine for thousands of years to promote both heart and brain health, as well as its powerful anti-inflammatory properties. We've also included a botanical blend of phytonutrients that include flavonoids, carotenoids, and sulfides. These natural, plant-based chemicals are powerful contributors to overall health and well-being. Turmeric, the organic antioxidant supplement from Youngevity, formulated to promote optimal health. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate. As you age, factors like health, weight, diet, and lifestyle can all impact your bones, joints, and general mobility. Over time, you might start to experience stiffness or pain due to damaged joints or connective tissue. Ultimate Glucogel by Youngevity was created to help you limit the effects of wear on your joints. It delivers a daily dose of collagen-rich gelatin your body needs for joint elasticity and maintenance. Ultimate Glucogel contains a 1-to-1 ratio of gelatin and glucosamine sulfate, which is a key building block of your bone matrix, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, and connective tissue. Gelatin's unique blend of amino acids not only help with muscle and joint health, but also has been shown to provide additional benefits for the brain, skin, and hair. Ultimate Glucogel. Natural, optimal daily support for joint health. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Paying attention to your overall health also means focusing on the command center of it all, your brain. Factors like stress, lack of sleep, poor diet, a sedentary lifestyle, and the bombardment of pollutants and toxins can all diminish brain and neural functions. When was the last time you concentrated on your brain health? Synaptive by Youngevity is a cutting-edge, unique brain support supplement that delivers powerful nutrients both immediately and throughout the day. Its anti-stress nutrients provide instant brain-boosting support that helps with mental focus and cognitive activity. To enhance your body's neuroprotection, Synaptive's full-spectrum antioxidant blend targets 6 major classes of free radicals that inhibit brain function. This powerful nutrient combination also promotes healthy blood flow to the brain. Synaptive, optimal antioxidant neuroprotection and support for a healthy brain. Now that's something to think about. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Youngevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Youngevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Just because you're a certain age doesn't mean you have to look it or feel it. Immortalium by Youngevity was developed to support your body's ability to age normally and healthfully. It's an advanced anti-aging supplement that combines the most effective essential nutrients in a cutting-edge, bi-layered and extended release tablet designed to support your telomere health and natural aging process. Telomeres are the biological clocks within your cells that form the protective ends of almost every chromosome in your body. Telomeres help prevent the chromosomes from deteriorating. The longer and healthier the telomeres in a cell, the greater the health and anti-aging benefits. Immortalium contains synergizing antioxidant enzymes and telomere health-promoting nutrients that are quickly absorbed to give your body time to break down the antioxidants and put them to work. Immortalium, advanced anti-aging support that can help fight the natural aging process. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Welcome back to Briskie Business. This segment is Best and Brightest, the mentorship segment. I've had a blast talking with Mayor Carlos Hernandez. Let's bring him back on the program. I usually like to say, Carlos, let's take a breath now. We're going to slow it down. We're going to talk to folks and give them some mentorship and advice. I'm going to drink a little bit more of my cafecito here. My cafecito here. You can tell this program's live. Anyways. Carlos, you've got a lot to offer. You've said a lot of intriguing things. And here you get to speak to some folks and maybe give them some advice. You've learned a lot, been a lot of places, made a lot of pivots. So what can you give advice from a mentorship standpoint that you think could impact someone for a better life or a better path for them?
Dave, the best advice I could give a young person or anybody, honestly, because, listen, I'm looking, I have another year and a couple of months as mayor. And then after that, I'm really looking forward to a new career. So actually, I'm going to be able to have 3 careers in my life. So I'm very fortunate. And I'm going to probably do the same thing. So the advice I'm going to be giving is something that I wish I would have used earlier in my life. And that is, if you want to do something, find somebody that you look up to, a mentor. And don't be embarrassed. Don't be afraid to try to get in contact with that person and say, I am so-and-so. I want to learn. I'll volunteer my time. I'll do an internship. And you know what? You're going to be surprised how many people that you think are untouchable because they're so at a high level, we want humble and say, of course, come over here and I'll put you to work this and I'll give you time. So find somebody that you really, that is doing what you want to do. Hey, the wheel's already been invented, okay? And yes, we're going to put a little groove into it, but that's the fastest way to get to point A, B. And again, if I was a 21-year-old, 22-year-old guy getting out of school, I'm telling you, I would know what do I want to do, who's the person that I want to learn from, and I will be very aggressive in a nice way to let that person know how important it will be for me to learn from them. And you'll be surprised how many people say, yes, come on, and be part of my team as a volunteer, whatever it is. But you're going to learn from those people. And again, I'm doing the same thing now. I know I want to move into another world, and there's a lot of people out there that admire what they do. And I'm going to be, even if I have to do an internship with those people, to learn those businesses and then have a 3rd career in my life.
Man, that is so humbling and such great advice, Carlos. I see it all the time. And most people feel like guys that are having success or women that are having success are untouchable. But in reality, there's so few people that reach out looking for that mentorship that generally, if you say it right in a humble way, they actually are flattered and are wanting to give the time, many times because they wish they had it when they were younger and it was maybe not provided for them.
Oh, yeah, and I think you reach a point in life where you want to give people that knowledge. You want to teach what you've learned. And again, many times it's free. And it's just really wanting it from the heart, too, because I think people are going to try to reach you, too. They got to understand or want to know that it's really coming from your heart and that you really want to learn and the reasons why you want to learn. But I think it's the best advice that I can give anybody that is looking to move either from school to a career or from one career to another.
Wow, that's interesting. Hey, Carlos, do you have a family?
I do. I have married. I have 2 kids. I have a 24-year-old daughter, actually graduated from University of Florida Law School, and she was supposed to take the bar exam in July. And then they postponed it to August, and now they postponed it to October. So I feel bad for her because she's been getting ready for this bar, 3 times now. And I also have a 21-year-old son who just graduated also from University of Florida, a biology major, and he wants to go to medical school. So I'm very, very proud of my kids. They've both done very, very well. And again, some of the things that we talked about here, I try to, teach it to them. Sometimes they listen, sometimes they don't.
Yeah, welcome to parenthood. But you know what? You're setting a great example. You've done great things. And I always say sometimes the actions, well, all the time, probably the actions speak louder than the words. So it sounds like your actions have had a fine influence on your young children. It seems like they're on great paths to success. So, that's interesting. Were you able, as a young man, were there people there that were mentoring you or you asked for mentorship, or was that a path you didn't go down?
No, you know what? That's one of the mistakes that I've made. That I really. That's why I keep telling people that you want to do this. If I could have done it over again, there was a couple of people that were very accessible, and I just was either embarrassed or was afraid to be rejected. And I guarantee you, like I said, 90% chance that they would have rejected me. And actually one of these people, and his name is Herb Levin. We're very good friends. This guy was probably the biggest guy in radio here in the 60s, 70s. And actually, I was an employee for him, while I was going to school. And I've even laughed with Herb. I said, Herb, man, I should have come to you, and said, I want to learn from you. I was there work. And you know what? He laughs. He goes, why didn't you, Carlos? Why didn't you? You're a smart guy. So, I might have had a different career, but I mean, this was one guy that I really looked up to. And I just didn't have the guts, I guess, again, to say, hey, listen, I want to learn from you. And you know what? We laugh about that sometimes. So, no, I didn't do it. It was one of the mistakes that I regret. And I hope that people watching the show won't do it.
Man, I always say it's one thing to learn from your mistakes, but it's a lot better if you can learn from someone else's mistakes.
And the older you get, the more you realize that man, if I can save some time and learn from somebody's mistake, wow, it's going to save me a lot of years or a lot of months or whatever it is.
I can tell you're a hard driver. It's pivoted 3 times. We've only got about a minute and a half, and I know you know what gap moments are, and most of our listeners are. I would like to know, a driver like you, what do you do to find joy in balance in your life on a daily basis, Carlos?
I think the older you get, the more philosophical you get, and the more you start to read, because, the one thing you can't buy is time. And I think the older you get, the more you realize that that's the most precious commodity you have. And I've heard it from people who are very wealthy, and they'll say, I'll give up, my fortune and just, and give me another 20 years, move me back 20 years. So, I think that living every day, full throttle, making sure that you remove what's not important in your life, because you only have so many hours, and focus what is important. And don't waste time or too much time looking back. Back is gone. Okay? Look at the present. Make the best decisions today, whatever it is, in your family life, in your business life, whatever hobbies you got. Because if you give it 100% today, tomorrow, you'll see the fruits of that labor. And forget about the back. And time is the most precious commodity we have. Don't lose it. I know if you're 21 years old and you're listening to me, go, oh, I got plenty of time. If you're 60 years old, you're going to go, I know exactly what that guy's talking about. Okay? So I think that's the best moment I can give you like that, or the best advice.
Carlos, as your elder, I'm going to be 60 in December, and I think you're not going to be 60 till March. I can tell you that is very much wisdom-filled words and fantastic advice. Man, it is incredible how the heck did I get to 60? I am very blessed. My parents are both in their 80s, and they say it all the time. And they're funny. They don't say, how did I get to be 80? They say, how the hell did you get to be 60? So with that, you know what, my friend, thank you so much for being on the program. It's been a blast. We're going to wrap up Briskie Business, and we're going to end it right here. It's been my pleasure to have Mayor Carlos Hernandez, the City of Hialeah Mayor, on Briskie Business. We're going to close it out now. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. Really, really was a joy.